Hi and welcome to the market alert for Wednesday, the 24th of September 2025. So oil and gold pop, stocks drop as Powell calls market fairly highly valued. I think you'll find it's a bit more than fairly highly valued. It's seriously overvalued. But that, of course, is the key here is to make sure that it doesn't create any alarm. Long bond and bullion bid. Another record new, that's in gold, mega cap and most short stocks slammed. And then we've got US stocks close lower, putting the recent rally on standby for now. Well, we'll see what happens over the next couple of days with regard to that statement. And stocks pause as traders digest Fed speak. So obviously Powell was out yesterday speaking, which we looked at in yesterday's market alert. Today, what have we got? Economic news. Let's have a look. Trump spoke obviously at 12:20 a.m. But for economic news, we've got German info, climate, and new home sales from the US at 3 p.m. Notice this as well. Let me just move this down a bit so you can see it. Trump, Ukraine is in a position to win back original form and maybe go further than that. So he's changed his stance all of a sudden. He doesn't seem to be Putin's puppet anymore. He's now all of a sudden jumps sides, which is slightly alarming as well. It's sort of an escalation of a potential World War III situation there with that turn of events. Anyway, let's have a look at the markets for yesterday. The Dow, the S&P and gold made new all-time highs. No surprise there. Maybe a rest is coming, but let's have a look in more detail and kick off with the Dow and have a look at its new all-time high from yesterday. So in the Dow, we continue to move higher, 46,717 for yesterday. We've got a bit of selling around and also we're overbought, so we could be due for a bit of a correction, but don't worry if not, because the market continues to stay above the averages and also the momentum is in this way. Because something is overbought doesn't mean to say it's going to actually come down. It can actually be the polar opposite. You can actually use the strength of the overbought situation to continue to see prices moving to the upside, which we're seeing there. But in more detail yesterday, everything was fine and dandy until Powell spoke. And that sent the market down to the 200 MA, where we see buying coming in at this level. And then overnight prices have moved back to the upside. We just need to get back above the DP level to head back towards yesterday's all-time high that was created there. So at the moment, we are due for a correction. There's no doubts about that. We can see that just since August, the market has moved up quite nicely. In fact, let's just have a quick look and see how much it is up. So from there up to yesterday's high, we're currently up, 3,409 points for the Dow there. So yeah, we do need a bit of a breather, but at the moment, it doesn't look like that's going to be coming at any time soon. Let's have a look at the German DAX, which shows a completely different picture. So in the German DAX, in the daily chart, we're still stuck in this sideways range, but we're not selling off. So again, for me, it looks like it's just a matter of time before the market can break back to the upside and head back to its all-time high, which is still sitting above here at the 24,644 level. Maybe it's going to take Santa to actually ignite this market. 30-minute chart, we moved higher nicely there. We did have a lot of flash news yesterday as well with the French, German and the European numbers. Market then bounced back after trading down to the close of Monday, and then we sold off in the afternoon with the Dow and obviously Powell. But look at overnight, you can see that we're above the close already. We just need to get above the 200 MA, stay above the 50 and get above the DP there to move things to the upside. There's no major things at the moment, and this shift in Trump's stance with regards to Ukraine could even boost the market as well during today. So back to the S&P, it's up by just half a point for yesterday on this particular platform. The averages remain in the right direction. We are turning over slightly with momentum there, but at the moment prices on the chart are moving to the upside. 30 minutes, again, you can see when Powell spoke the impact that it had, and you can see the buying coming in though when he finished, and then they brought the market back. So let's use Powell's comments to actually shake out the weak longs, and then we'll buy back the stock and move it to the upside. Meanwhile, in the FT100, this, just like the German DAX, is stuck in a sideways trading range at the moment. Prices need to get back above the 5-bar moving average, the 20-bar, etc., and move to the upside. The interesting thing is we're still above the 50 EMA, and of course we're way above the 200 MA, which is sat down here. So the FT moving higher in a sort of a sideways market there. Again, followed the DAX higher. Then the flash news brought the market down mid-morning, and then in the afternoon came down with the Powell speak. This actually breaking the 200 MA, but trading down to, let's have a look, towards the low of Monday, but failing to get that far. Buying coming in, and we're moving to the upside there nicely at the moment. So we could get a bit of a shakeout to begin with when the cash market's open, and then bring the market back to the upside. So we'll look at the US dollar, and the US dollar is sideways to higher. We've had a couple of days down, not an awful lot down yesterday. I imagine there's been some buying pressure there as well, so obviously buying coming back into the US dollar and moving prices back to the upside, albeit just marginally there. Let's have a look at the metals reaction yesterday, and particularly the gold price. So just before we look at the gold price, silver yesterday, some selling pressure around there. It needs to be taken out in order to move higher. When you see selling pressure like this, it can be one of two things. It's shorts coming into the market to move prices lower, or it can be an absorption of sell orders at critical resistance levels, which is then taken by the long trades, so the orders sitting on the sidelines, and then move to the upside. So we need to see the 44.452 taken out to continue to move higher, and the momentum is shifting back to the upside there as well. So maybe that is the case for today, but selling pressure, when you see it like this, or supply, is like I say, it can be absorption of orders and then move the market higher. Or if you see here, you can see the supply there. On this occasion saw some selling the following day, but that was backed by news as well, and then prices, that was the FOMC meeting minutes to be precise, and then the market moving higher. But if you look back at this selling pressure, you can see the absorption of the orders, and then the market trading sideways before moving up with its next phase. So just treat this as a bit of a warning sign. There is a bit of supply around in the silver there. 30-minute chart, yesterday morning we moved lower down to the DP, and then we ramped the market up. But of course, given the opportunity, as they do, Powell's comments were enough for the bankers to come in and obviously try and reduce some of those short losses. Prices then moving back to the upside there as well. And one other thing I'd like to mention, as I've spoken about in the last few weeks, how the mood has changed with regards to silver. Even one of the banks that used to be short seems to be long now, because USB says silver poised for all-time high as investors flock to precious metals. Now, they were heavily short. They were one of the 5 banks that kept the short position going, but all of a sudden they've changed their minds, which can only mean one thing: they're no longer short and have gone to the dark side, moving prices to the upside and stepping away from the other banks that are still have short positions. So this is good news. UBS says silver poised for all-time high as investors flock to precious metals. So that's an interesting one to see. Now, with regards to gold, this continuing to make new all-time highs. We had another one yesterday, but it too shows some selling pressure there, or supply, whichever you want to call it, but it's interchangeable. And again, trying to move higher today. So obviously heading towards that 4,000 per ounce for Christmas is seems to still be on the cards there. 30-minute chart, everything was fine and dandy until Powell spoke in the afternoon. Again, just using the opportunity to move prices lower to buy back in, which you can see is happening there in Asia as I actually record this video. Let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio. And of course, up a bit yesterday. That was because of the sell-off in silver was a lot faster than that of gold. And overnight things have changed a bit, where silver is moving a bit faster than the gold price at the moment. So let's have a look at yesterday's German DAX 2-minute chart. And in the pre-market session there, you can see prices were sideways to higher. And then, of course, when we kicked off in the morning with the cash market, prices moving sideways to begin with, and then making their way towards the high, but this was interrupted with a potential sell signal. And of course we've had all of that flash news as well, so very difficult. News comes out, market goes down, market goes up on the other news, and then stuck it in a sideways move, as you can see there. Then another sell, quick sell, all done and dusted, and then another potential buy which wasn't filled, and then prices managing to move up to the high, which is a shame it wasn't filled, but you can see the market sitting there on the 50 EMA. So it was just a matter of the move was delayed, and then up to the high R1, and we've got, of course, the flash news out of the way by this time. Let's just move over to the start of the afternoon, and there were no trades in the afternoon. The market just following the Dow there, moving to the upside, and then Powell coming in and speaking, and the DAX stuck in the sideways move there. Not a lot happening, sideways to lower. But overnight prices are currently, let's have a look, let's just grab the charts. There you can see at the moment we're already moving back to the upside aggressively. It's currently 1 minute to 7 a.m. I'm slightly late this morning, so you can see they're heading back up towards the DP, and then from the DP we've got the high above the R1 if prices continue during today. And like I say, the backdrop for me today is the fact that Trump has changed his stance with regard to Ukraine. As he can't stop the war, he now wants to back Ukraine in winning the war. So, which slightly worries me and alarms me, to say the least. Anyway, that will do it for this one. Have a great day, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.